Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our webinar on driving efficiency, time-saving strategies for success. I'm Amanda Brandon, Director of Member Engagement here at the BVRLA, and I'm joined by a stellar cast of panelists this morning. We're quite tight on time and we want to get a lot of information out to you, so you're not going to hear much from me this morning. I'm going to hand over to the experts in this area. Certainly, in today's busy, demanding world, our members are finding it harder and harder to spend time doing what they love, running their business, renting vehicles, leasing, broking, etc. Instead are stuck dealing with administration, bureaucracy, vehicles off the road, etc. We're really looking forward to this morning helping members with some ideas and suggestions on how to save time and potentially costs with running your business. Most importantly, you can ask the panelists questions. If you look in the middle of your screen, you should see the Q&A box. Just sort of middle bottom of your screen there. Please feel free to ask questions of all of the panelists. We're going to do a session at the end, because as I say, we're quite tight on time, so we're going to do questions all at the end. We'll bring all of the panelists back so you can ask them questions, but if you store them in that Q&A box, we'll make sure we get those asked. When you are asking questions, just need to remind everybody of competition or compliance. So I'm just going to share my screen very quickly. So yeah, if you could just please pay attention to the red box at the top. When you're asking your questions, please don't refer to anything to do with your own pricing strategies, terms of sale, or discuss matters relating to individual suppliers, etc. I'll just keep that up there for another minute. So in terms of the agenda this morning, we're going to hear from a couple of panelists. So first of all, I'm going to hand over to Mark Assad, who has just started a new car and van rental business, MCVR. He's well known to us from his history with other organisations that have been involved with us. But Mark, over to you about what have been some of the pitfalls of starting rental business and how have you overcome them?
Good morning, Amanda, and thank you for the introduction. So pitfalls for starting a rental company, there've been many, to say the least. Starting any business or starting any new organization is challenging in the best of times, but particularly with a rental company, which is a high risk business in itself and quite asset heavy, has been to be more challenging than I initially anticipated. Partners, funders, suppliers, they're all looking for reassurance and security. To be honest with you, in order to overcome the pitfalls, I found that my experience, the knowledge of the industry, and the most fundamental thing actually was the relationships with key stakeholders at the partners and suppliers were things that gave us the good push that we needed to get over those pitfalls. I can see that there's lots of people within the industry that have put their neck on the line to support the development of MCVR, and of course I'll forever be grateful to that, and it's a real testament to the strength of those relationships and also their belief in the business plan that we've put together, the P&L, and ultimately the business acumen that we've shown, and our ability to pivot and make decisions quickly when things aren't as we'd initially planned. To mitigate the risks and to demonstrate to our suppliers and partners that we're taking all the right steps to get the business going in the right direction. Andrew, my business partner, and I have spent around 18 months building this business plan. We'd finish our corporate jobs in our previous roles, and we'd sit there all evening punching numbers on Excel and putting in theories and hypotheses and you know all these different assumptions to try and break the P&L and make it as robust as possible. In order to build a successful rental business, we needed to take a look at the foundations of what the business needed to be built up on. And this diagram here gives, albeit a bit of a messy demonstration, but I'd say that any person that started a business would relate to how messy it can be. But we needed to think of all the building blocks that were required to build a long-term sustainable business that was going to be built on success rather than on quick wins. If you speak to me about MCVR, you'll know that I often use the phrase it's a marathon, not a sprint. We're here to build a long-term business. We want to be in the organization for many years. We want it to be a long-standing organization, which is why we're building it in the right way and leveraging the relationships that we've got. When we were building these foundations, you can split them up into 3 different categories, which are finance, sales and marketing, operations and fleet. And I'll break down each one of those and quickly talk to our experience in each 3. So at the initial planning phase, when building the P&L and the business plan, most important thing for us was financial forecasting to keep the business in positive cash flow. Most important thing for us is cash is king. We need to keep as much cash in the bank as we can. Quickly became apparent that just focusing on daily and flexi rent wouldn't be enough to keep the revenue growing and to keep money coming through the bank. So we needed to find other forms of income. But how do we find other ways of raising money without neglecting the daily rental and the flexi rent or business? It's automation. It all comes down to leveraging tech, leveraging the IT systems that we've got, leveraging the relationships that we've got with other companies that are more specialized in automating their particular processes and integrating those into our mainframe. We got a very savvy accountant on board because we needed to take advantage of all the VAT opportunities that we've got and effectively manage our finances to make sure that any cash that we've got is being used effectively. And ultimately, we needed to focus on marketing and getting our presence out there in the local community known. An important lesson that we've learned so far is that it's okay to fail fast. We can't be too proud about mistakes that we've made. We thought that getting our adverts out in local magazines and printed publications would be the right way to go, but we quickly realized that that was just the wrong type of marketing for us. And what we've come to learn over the past 3-4 months that we've been in business is that Google Ads and word of mouth are the most effective forms of marketing for us. So we're investing heavily in our Google ad campaign, as well as online marketing and outreach to the local community to make sure that anybody that lives within a certain radius of us is aware of MCVR and what we have to offer. In terms of operations, a major part of the strategy that I think will lead MCVR to be a success in the future is making us easy, enjoyable, and transparent to do business with. If you visit our website, mcvr.co.uk, all our prices are available online. You can see the breakdown of how our prices are calculated, and fundamentally, in order to make ourselves easier to do business with through the integration of Coaster into the website, our customers are able to see our live availability of stock and make a live booking without having to request a booking and then wait for it to be approved. It can all be done seamlessly based on our live availability. We also empower our business customers, so the B2B business that we do, by creating profiles for them. They're able to go in and access an account, and they can view their invoices, they can view their previous bookings, they can create new bookings, and we basically enable them to own their own, essentially their own rental fleet within the MCVR fleet, which has been really successful for us and something that our customers have shown great interest in. That level of automation and that level of hands-offness, if that's a word, and streamlining the operation has meant that we're much easier to do business with than our competitors. Our customers enjoy the transparency that they receive from dealing with MCVR. But we also recognize that a lot of our customers they prefer making a phone call and booking over the phone, and in order to facilitate that, we've introduced a 24-hour booking hotline. This is manned 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. The support center that accepts those bookings 24/7 over the phone also doubles up as our breakdown and accident support helpline. So if any of our customers experience a breakdown, then we're able to ensure that they're kept on the road. That level of support is greatly appreciated, but it also helps me sleep easy at night as a rental operator, knowing that my customers and our fleet is safe. From an admin side, PCNs, V5s, the paperwork builds up very quickly within a rental company. But having automated processes in place and systems such as Transfer 360 have made that really seamless and straightforward. Final point is fleet. Amanda asked me what the big pitfall is of setting up a rental company. Most of them appear on this screen just here. Vehicle supply was the most fundamental thing that we needed to get right. overcoming these challenges in terms of finding the stock is really rewarding. The fact of the matter is there's nothing more exciting for a rental operator, especially in the early days, than watching a transporter pull up outside the office and deliver the next batch of vehicles. It's a real testament of success and growth, and certainly something I look forward to. Securing the insurance was a challenge as well. High risk business with high risk customers. But again, leveraging the relationships that we've got across the industry, we were able to demonstrate that we're going to safeguard our vehicles and put in place mitigating circumstances, including telematics, which appears twice on here. Now we've partnered up with a large telematics organization that provides us with a full suite of capabilities. We can track our vehicles, we can track their health, we can track any potential faults, and we can early triage if there's going to be any potential downtime on the vehicles. And again, through our partnership with Epics, we're able to get the vehicles booked into our local repair centres, knowing how much it's going to cost, how long it's going to be off the road, and any implications to our fleet. We can early plan for, and we've got full visibility of the end-to-end process to get that vehicle back out on the road. So really important partnership for us there with Epics. On the disposal side, we've recently signed a strategic partnership with a remarketing firm that's essentially going to be owning that remarketing for us. They have a full suite of capabilities, everything from direct to retail, direct into the trade, and then auctions. And they essentially see our purchasing strategy, they see the vehicles that we're buying, and they will advise us as to the best time to dispose of that unit and through the best channel. So for us, in terms of driving efficiency, we don't have to constantly sit there watching the market and knowing when to dispose of our vehicles. We've got a panel of experts that are constantly analysing the RVs on our behalf, and they advise us when the best time to do it is. I guess to wrap things up quickly, conscious of time, I need to get moving on. My definition of a successful rental company that is constantly driving efficiency is one where the business can work 24 hours a day, offer our customers a 24-hour service, and the fleet manager can sleep easy at night knowing that the vehicles are connected via telematics or via the in-vehicle connectivity to maximize the uptime and maximize their security. Trying to do it all alone is never going to be the right way to do it. Partnership is power, and my definition of success for MCVR is to have as many experts supporting the business's growth and development as possible.
Great, thanks, Mark. That was very good, really informative. Thank you. I'm now going to hand straight over to Biswajit Roy from Coaster, who's kindly supporting us on this webinar today, and he's going to cover a little bit more about the Right Core platform and how that works for you. So Biswajit, over to you.
Thank you, Amanda. Well, it was great to hear MCVR's story as well, and we've proudly supported Mark in that journey. And to be honest, I mean, a lot of what I'm going to talk about today will probably resonate with not only early start businesses, but also matured businesses, because sometimes the challenges remain whether you're a new start business or later. And some of them, I draw upon from my own experience of starting Coaster back in 2018. And Mark's kind of stories really brought me back to those early days when we were actually thinking about the same things around how we set up the business, get the financing, and how we really keep our business lean. And as a tech startup back in the days, it was very important for us to be adopter of technology. And I think that's kind of where we have done really well in choosing our technology partners as well internally. And that has led to us keeping a very lean operations. So definitely there's a lot of thinking that needs to be done in thinking about how your processes can be driven through technology. To just introduce Coaster for those who are not aware, we are a shared mobility software ecosystem. I emphasize the word ecosystem mainly because we are a believer of partnerships and also in providing more holistic solutions. So you can see, Coaster is proudly associated with BVRLA and ACRA in America. and we are pushing our solution to really help mobility businesses in offering one-stop shop solutions. To move forward, just a quick overview of the business. We are spread across 5 countries. As I mentioned, we work with several partners, including Epix, Transfer 360, Teltonika, who are all on the session today, and several others. We also pride ourselves quite a lot in focusing in our focus on security, which is becoming more and more important. We recently saw some of the news which has come in from one of the larger rental businesses who were hacked for the data. So data security is becoming more paramount and a matter of importance. But our key focus is to really help promote more usership models, new mobility solutions, and use Coaster in a configurable, flexible way to deliver new solutions to our customers and their customers in return. Just quickly highlighting some of the things that we really come across, and often these are some of the problems that we solve using technology, often in a kind of day-to-day environment with working with our clients. So just some stats here. There's using the right kind of fleet management technology. We can, especially telematics enable technology, and of course the OEM APIs, which are getting better as well, more every day. A lot of our clients see huge savings in fuel consumption. Again, it may not be relevant for a rental business directly, but this is something that you can also pass on to your customers by providing the telematics-based capability through, let's say, Coaster's portals, etc. And we've seen kind of huge benefit in use of telematics-based technology in such scenarios. The other area where, again, the connected mobility really plays a significant importance is reducing accident rates and influencing driving behavior. And we are working quite proactively with a lot of insurance companies and the fleet operators to address and highlight some of these risks to the drivers and thereby take more proactive measures. So again, if you are a rental business really trying to protect your asset, I would definitely say this is an area to kind of focus on, but also think about the holistic aspect of how this can be done more preventative rather than more reactive. The third area, which is growing in significance, is the kind of electric transition to electric vehicles. And as you may all be facing some of these pressures, there is a big push from automotive companies and government policies, of course, supported by BVRLA and others, that we need to transition to electric vehicles or more greener vehicles in general. And that's where again, the technology really plays a significant part, being able to integrate things like charging infrastructure and providing that to your customers, or utilizing yourselves as well to ensure your vehicles are charged, understanding what their charging status, battery health looks like, and where the charges are for that matter, and finding the fastest way to get there. So all those kind of technologies need to come together in fleet operational world to really help you deliver a more effective electric vehicle solution to your customers. And again, that's something we work with very closely with our customers. Other things that we kind of focus quite a lot on are what we call as the ongoing kind of conversations around subscription. And again, there are a lot of different views on what subscription means. I have my own personal view on this, but what really is on the rise is the need for more flexible solution, whether you call it subscription or you call it flex fleet or you call it something else. Really doesn't matter. I think increasingly consumers and fleet operators are moving in that direction. And when you really want to offer flexibility, it does mean that you need to really understand your fleet profitability, understand your booking demands, and be able to forecast your utilization and really be on top of how to deliver that kind of seamless solution to your customers as well. A digital experience is very, very important at the same time. So again, that's where the technology really plays a key part, allowing early adopters, and we see huge amount of investments being made in technologies particularly. And then there is kind of the car leasing residual value, which is something everyone's talking about these days, sort of, especially related to electric vehicles, where I think fleet operators are really scratching their head about the constant fluctuations. Also, new vehicles coming into the market is not helping, and interest rise, etc. So again, this is where a lot of good data and good technology, especially being able to connect with real-time insights from the market around valuation data, but also looking at the condition of the vehicle in real time and keeping an eye on profitability really helps. And that's kind of where technologies like Coaster really plays a key part in helping you address your residual value management. Moving on, I've covered some of these, key trends or emerging trends, but I think as we talk to more and more of our customers across the board, whether it's a rental car business or a leasing business or an automotive company looking to deliver mobility solutions, one thing is very, very key or common. There are different trends starting from autonomous vehicles, which is in the near future. And there are lots of different solutions being tried out. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a retail solution. We see a lot of last mile solutions coming in this space as well. Fleet electrification is a common thread. Again, we have heard about how this is a hugely important consideration in the commercial space, in electrification of fleet as well. So again, we are working with a lot of clients in helping them put together the right technology to help them manage and transition to electric fleet. And then a lot of the other kind of use cases and topics we see are around more in general providing what we call as true mass or multimodal solutions into the market, which then really offer a lot of choice and flexibility in creating journeys that are otherwise very siloed historically. So these are some of the emerging trends and technologies we are seeing in the market, or where technology is playing a crucial role in connecting the dots and the journeys. Now, if I take a step back and really think about why you should think about using the right technology, I think fundamentally, if you are a startup business or a growing, scaling up business as well, one of the main things that you really require is agility and innovation, to constantly deliver that kind of a delightful customer experience, be on top of your cost, creating more automation opportunities. And that's where technology really plays a fundamental differentiation. And we have seen it ourselves being a tech company as well, that when we put together the right architecture of technology solutions internally, starting from our CRM solution, which integrates to our accountancy, which also integrates to our billing system, and various other technology platforms coming together, it really helps with reducing manual effort. And on top of that, the data that comes from capturing all of these processes in the right way, and the automation really helps us make the right decisions on time, being able to change courses, especially in times where there are big fluctuations in the market. So that's where kind of technology can really play a big difference. A lot of our clients are really enjoying some of the ability to slice and dice the data on the Coaster platform. For example, we offer a lot of flexibility in how they can create their own dashboards and insights, and this leads to kind of a right interventions in the business. And finally, I think, as I mentioned earlier, focusing on risk management, security is becoming even more fundamental these days, really preserving and protecting your customers' data, while at the same time kind of managing your cost base through appropriate kind of transparency on cost and utilization and usage. So these are kind of the areas that broadly, again, being an ecosystem platform, we see a huge amount of value. Just to kind of introduce how we deliver that for our customers, Coaster's new age operations management software is part of delivering that kind of automation. And again, hopefully MCVR has kind of been a testament to how they are really seeing some of that benefit. in keeping their operations lean. A lot of self-service driven capabilities through the kind of white label customer portals, and of course using connected mobility, telematics, and OEM APIs to give you that kind of extra protection and automation in the market. The one last thing which I would also kind of really encourage everyone to think about is, the partners and the kind of service providers that think about. And again, we are doing that as well on our side by integrating different partners. Epix is our partner for service and maintenance, for example. It's fully integrated into Coaster. Similarly, we work with payment gateways like Elavon and Stripe and various other solutions, Transfer 360 for PCN management. But bringing that holistic ecosystem through technology really powers your business, and that's kind of where you can really succeed and get the benefit of new age technology in your rental or leasing mobility business. I'll pause there probably because I'm out of time, but thank you for listening, and hope to receive some questions.
Thanks, Biswajit. I think I'll come back to it at the end, but I'd be really interested on those emerging trends. I might kind of get you to rank those for 2025. Which do you think is the sort of most important one? We are running a little bit behind, but I'm going to go straight into the next three presentations that we've got really quickly. So we've got Mark from Epix, who's going to tell us about keeping vehicles on the road. We've got Arena from Teltonica, who's going to talk about keeping an eye on those vehicles when they're on the road. And then Richard from Transfer 360 he's got an innovative solution for pesky PCNs. So I won't reappear each time. The guys are just going to hand to each other. So Mark, over to you.
Thank you, Amanda, and thanks, Biswajit. It's been great working with you guys on recent integrations, and of course, Mark introducing Epix and OneLink very recently. My name is Mark Lees. I'm Business Development Director for Epix, or more commonly known as our product portfolio name of OneLink. We provide technology solutions to the automotive sector, to fleet operators, rental business, contract hire and leasing, enabling digital connectivity between them as a fleet operator and their suppliers across purchasing vehicles, taxing vehicles, hiring vehicles, maintaining vehicles, and vehicle disposal. We are most commonly known for our maintenance product, OneLink Service Network, and I'm going to talk about aspects of that today. I was specifically asked by the BVRLA to focus upon vehicle downtime. It's an area which is very much top of the radar of most businesses at the moment. I'll explain why I think that is and the cause and effect of VOR. And I'll talk about how our customers are using OneLink both currently and in the future through some innovative pilot schemes that we're doing too. So bear with me and I will share my screen. Love Zoom. Haven't used Zoom for a while, but I do love it. Okay, so you should all see my slides here. So in terms of cause and effect, I've just got down on the left-hand side and the causes and the impact. So traditional causes for VOR, vehicle off-road, were mechanical accident and routine. And there are ways and means of mitigating those, particularly around accidents such as driver behaviour, training, things like that, but also better informing customers of use of the vehicle. But more recently, given global market conditions and also still the aftermath of the pandemic, we're seeing other things that create VOR, such as much older vehicles being on fleet, parts availability being a challenge, and also tech shortages. Now, this can be a huge impact on a rental business or actually any fleet operator. And on the right-hand side, you can see those. So first of all, the most obvious, that vehicle, whilst it's off-road, can't do what it's meant to do. If it's an operational fleet, it can't do its daily work. If it's a rental fleet, it can't be rented out. And that impacts hugely on the cost per vehicle per day. Again, more appropriate to a rental business, perhaps, is that if they're not renting that vehicle out, it's clear they're not getting the rental revenue for it. But that's also impacting their customer as well. So if they're renting that vehicle to a customer, they might be using that for operational use, and it'll be impacting their costs also. So, and that really does lead on to not being able to deliver to the customer's requirements or needs, which I'm sure Mark will agree for MCVR is incredibly important, particularly as a new business. You want to be able to make sure that you're keeping your customers on the road as much as possible. And again, probably appropriate to all rental businesses. This can lead to an impact of having more surplus vehicles than you actually need, so running a much lower utilization, which it's good because you can keep your customers on the road, but the costs involved in that, in taxing additional vehicles, insurance against those additional vehicles when they're not actually out on the road, is just unnecessary. So let me talk about how OneLink can help with. Excuse me, I'm not changing slides. There we go. With another aspect of VOR, which is the administration side, which arguably it's difficult to mitigate or control those impacts that I just described, but the causes that I described. But in terms of the administration of that, it becomes nigh on not impossible, but incredibly difficult to deliver, and that's because of it's so multifaceted. So here you can see just the kind of the key components or the key facets of a vehicle off-road event. The vehicle, obviously, the service centre, they've got the vehicle, the rental operator, and of course the driver. Communicating about a vehicle off-road without digital solutions is all manual. So it'll be phone calls, it'll be emails, it will be at best keeping updates on spreadsheets, which unfortunately are fallible. People don't save, you lose information, you don't have accurate records. You can't use those records to then plan for the future either. So this is where OneLink comes in. OneLink, we've been around for 24 years, and as such, we've engaged with a community that is in excess of around, in excess of 8,000 repairers, which includes all fast fits, all franchise dealers, huge number of independents, breakdown business, glass business, tyres, all. And we're working with over 4 million vehicles across the UK industry, which, these are all big, exciting numbers. What do they mean for our users? It's all about engagement. So the service centres really know how to use our platform. The integrations that we've created is long and established, which is good. And OneLink brings all these entities together, bringing them all into an ecosystem, which is really helpful because it means you have one single truth. You've got one visibility of everything that's going on. The vehicle information is uploaded into OneLink. The service centre keys the information into OneLink if appropriate, and we're feeding that information back into the rental business. And as Biswajit references, we're integrating into the back office systems as well to update the information, the costs against those vehicles, and so on. We're also helping to communicate better with the driver as well. So Mark talked about making it easy to do business with him, and he talked about digital bookings for reservations. Well, we look to help that experience to be across the life of the rental as well. So where customers are doing flexi rent, there'll be an expectation of being easy to deal with and wanting to have an easy way of communicating with MCVR. And add the digital booking tools, which are brandable, enable the customer to access that via their mobile phone, via desktop, and book into service centres all across the country and get the vehicle off-road. On the left-hand side, you can also see what we've been doing in terms of connected vehicle data. So piloting some new exciting opportunities with connected vehicle providers, using their proactive vehicle maintenance, the fault codes that Mark mentioned, the ODO readings, to take that into our system and create bookings into service centres. Because ultimately, the best way, I believe, to reduce vehicle downtime is be proactive about it. Get the information up front, place the bookings digitally, and get the work completed. Okay. We're also supporting our customers in the approvals of the maintenance, making sure that costs are correct via the system validation. We can auto approve using our almost AI-driven auto approval process. We can also offer managed services as well that help to provide a mechanical expert to do the authorization if you don't have that skill set within your business. So I think I've gone slightly over time, and I apologize for that, but I'm going to pass over to Arena from Teltonica to talk about connected vehicles. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? And do you see my slide?
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you for the introduction. And first of all, thank you for inviting me to your webinar, Driving Efficiency and Time-Saving Strategies for Success. So I will try to explain how Teltonica has been helping car rental, leasing, stolen vehicle recovery, and car sharing companies to improve efficiency with telematics solutions for over the past 2 decades. So I will try to start a brief overview of the company, Teltonika, who we are. Teltonika Telematics Division is a part of Teltonika IoT Group, which consists of 5 different business lines: telematic solutions, networking equipment, manufacturing services called EMS, telemedic products, and EV charging devices. Currently, we have 26 subsidiaries and 26 offices in 26 countries now, and more are coming soon. The latest we have opened are in United Kingdom, Poland, and Italy. This was done for a reason. We want to stay as much closer to our partners as it is possible. It would be not possible without the continuous support of our customers. That said, Teltonika is closer to clients worldwide than ever. What is worth to mention, all our devices are manufactured in Europe, in Lithuania, so all the devices have European certificates. Just a second. Yes, so let's dive deeper. And here is the first use case I wanted to cover is a car rental and leasing. So vehicle theft and car-related crimes continue to pose quite a serious challenge, impacting the car leasing industry as well. So this raises a question: what can be done to address this issue, prevent the car thefts, and better support for car leasing companies? So what are you getting by using telematic devices together with us, like time optimization, real-time data, prevention of unauthorized use, mileage monitoring, and many more. I could give you an example from a real time. Let's say you're owning a fleet, maybe more than 500 vehicles. And the person who was driving a car, he is hurrying at the airport, so he's just dropping a car anywhere in a parking lot. So what does it mean? You have to send an employee. He is looking for that car. He doesn't know where exactly it has been parked. So maybe he's wasting 30 minutes. Maybe he's wasting 45 or even 1 hour. So what does it mean? We're losing time, and time is money. So that's the most important. The second one I wanted to cover is a stolen vehicle recovery. The increase in vehicle thefts in many countries shows a growing need for stolen vehicle recovery systems. So where are vehicles, there is a chance of theft. To combat this challenge, fleet managers often use stolen vehicle recovery services with installed trackers to locate missing cars quickly and enable effectively response by law enforcement. So together with the telematic devices, you are getting a theft prevention, driver identification, 24/7 hours monitoring, and of course, your vehicles are safe. So that's the most important. Again, saving time, saving money. And the last one, but not a least one, I wanted to touch is a car sharing. By integrating telematics into car sharing platforms, operators can not only improve service efficiency and security, but also enhance user experience while reducing operational costs. So you are getting real-time tracking, increased security, also theft prevention, full traceability over your fleet, and of course, reduced insurance premiums. So that concludes the presentation. Thank you for listening. I hope you found it valuable and that it provided the best solution for your business. So if you will have any questions, so feel free to connect me on LinkedIn for further discussions. So thank you. And that's all.
Sorry, thank you. Yeah. Hi everyone, my name is Richard. I'm director and co-founder of Transfer 360. I'm just checking that my screen is being shared. Hopefully it is.
It is.
It is good. So what does Transfer 360 do? We connect lease and fleet companies directly to ticket issuers, which includes parking operators, local authorities and tolls, to standardize and automate the process of receiving and responding to a PCN. So The problem at the moment with PCNs for fleet and lease companies is that it's an antiquated and traditional process. So tickets are received by post. When you receive the ticket as a fleet operator, you have to scan it in, manually copy across the information from the ticket. Follow each PCN has different instructions, different requirements, different formats. So whether you're receiving it from a local authority for on-street parking, or a local authority for moving traffic, or a private parking operator, they all have different instructions, different requirements, different deadlines. So you have to manage each one individually in the physical format. You don't have any visibility on the full life cycle of the PCN. So PCNs can go missing in the post, and you don't find out that it was issued until over a month too late. If you respond to a PCN, very often you won't get a reference number or any kind of acknowledgement of where it is in the process. So it's really low visibility, and this often leads to liability issues and disputes. So the whole process is extremely manual, it's costly, it's really intensive, and often can lead to higher costs on the end when things get progressed to debt recovery because something went wrong. So how does Transfer 360 solve the problem? Transfer 360 has direct integrations with the ticket issuers. So this includes private parking, local authority, and toll roads. So when the ticket issuer recognizes or confirms the contravention to a vehicle, they check our system straight away. If it's a fleet vehicle recognized on our system, rather than going to a print and post and sending out that PCN by post, they'll send it to us in a digital format along with a summary of the information. We can then pass that on to you so that you receive all your tickets, not only in electronic format, where you want to receive them and how you want to receive them, but also a summary of all the information. So reference numbers, which vehicle it relates to, the date and time that it relates to, so that you can manage each one in a standardized format. We provide links for payment, link for appeal, and if you want to nominate, transfer liability to the driver, you can send that response back via Transfer 360 electronically, and we then populate that directly in the back office of the ticket issuer so that the notice goes out to the driver. The whole process is tracked end to end, so we know immediately when a ticket is or contravention is raised for one of your vehicles, and you can see that when the ticket is issued, when you've received it, how you've handled it, the response for that, and then ensuring that the ticket is then progressed on so that you're no longer liable for the ticket or confirm that it's paid. So you get a full end-to-end tracking of the system and essentially fully digitized, electronic, and also potentially fully automated depending on your level of integration. We work with software companies within the industry, as mentioned, with Coaster, for example, as a full integration to essentially automate the process as much as possible, so that it talks to your other systems and essentially takes off all of that workload that it currently takes to manage PCNs. So the benefits for the fleet companies is to remove huge amounts of manual handling time, removing the print and post, and all the liability issues that come with print and post. If 1% of post goes missing, and you're looking at tickets for £100, that means, you know, if you're receiving a few hundred tickets a week, which is pretty typical for a small and medium operator, yeah, those costs start to add up if you're on the hook for those fines. The time is drastically reduced. When a PCN is issued, you receive it that day, or at worst the day after, rather than it going into the post and waiting for the post to arrive. Obviously, the time it takes to manage the ticket is drastically reduced, with it all being standardized where you want it and how you want it in your systems. And as I mentioned, it can be fully automated with integrations with your existing software as well. So it can automatically pull through who was driving, or it can automatically flag it for payment. And the delays and the errors which are inevitable with the manual handling process, with the traditional process, with relying on post, are eradicated, and everything is tracked and logged from end to end. So significant benefits with digitizing your PCNs. Ultimately, what we do is we're modernising an extremely antiquated process. Ticket issuers are on board because it creates huge savings for them and allows them to recognise the driver as quickly as possible. And for fleet operators, hopefully, if you've ever had to deal with the tickets, or you've ever been exposed to that part of the business, you'll recognise quite quickly the significant benefits that it can bring. Thank you.
Richard, much appreciated. I think we are a little bit over in terms of time, so I'm not actually going to do questions this morning. So apologies if you do have any questions for our panelists. Do let me know. We'll be more than happy to answer those separately offline. As Irina mentioned, everybody on that's part of the webinar this morning is on LinkedIn, so probably the best way is to reach out to them or come to me directly, and I'm more than happy to share contact details. Just want to say thanks very much to everybody today for joining the panel, for joining the webinar. Really appreciated. I think the one message I'm taking away from this morning is that you can't do this alone. You can't run your rental business, you can't run your leasing company without the support of you guys. And I think there's some really interesting discussions to be had around how that works, how you can make the most of the technology that's available. I think Biswajit, you gave some really interesting insights in terms of what we can expect in the next couple of years. I think we're certainly looking at, here at BVRLA, the impact of autonomous vehicles, connected vehicles, how we can make the most of that data. And we've been talking about that for a while, but I think we really need to sort of knuckle that down. And I think, Mark, obviously, from the Epic side, you guys have got you're doing some interesting work there as well. I just wanted to share one more slide before we go, which was just around some of our future events. So first of all, the Industry Outlook Conference. Hopefully you can all see that QR code there. Really encourage you to come along to the Industry Outlook Conference on the 5th of December. You'll hear from Epics, you'll hear from Coastra, they're both involved with that event. It's a really good end to the year, and it gives you those thoughts, and take away some thoughts and ideas around what to look at for next year. We're going to be talking about AI and fleet management. We're going to be talking about how risk management can keep your fleet moving, the latest technology, looking at van residual values as well, and much more. So please do, there's an early booking rate at the moment. Not to mention Epics again, but Epics are kindly hosting our Vehicle and Fleet Management Forum on the 14th of November. If you haven't been to one of our forums before and you're not a subscriber, drop me an email, and I can give you an option to try before you buy for these last two of the year. They're really interesting half-day sessions, deep dives into vehicle and fleet management, and obviously the residual value and remarketing side of the business as well. So yeah, thank you everybody for joining us this morning. Hopefully you took away a few takeaways, and thank you very much to everybody for joining me here today on the panel.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks all.
Thank you.
Bye.